All right, we got bad noises and lots of smoke. So, what kind of issues do we have today? Well, so the customer called me out to look at this Case 410 skid steer. He said he was lacking power and it kind of ran like crap, and it just nothing really good power wise on this thing. The machine has 670 hours on it, 677, I think. Turned the key, fired it, let the glow plugs warm up. It fired up, and man, it was such a high pitched, rattling, knocking metal to metal sound that I was like, wait a second, either a metal shroud is getting hit by the fan or something bad's happening here. So I shut it down. I go to the back, and I'm like, well, you know what might I find? Mind you, this thing has 670 hours on it. And I'm poking around and I'm like, wait a second, I noticed this hydraulic filter and it's got its service date on it, which you probably can't see, but it says 2012 is the last time it was changed, and it says 94 hours. So I'm like, okay, well, that's interesting. That's way too long for me to run an equipment or fluids and stuff like that long. And then I pull the air filter and it's packed with dirt, which will destroy an engine. And I'm thinking, okay, and that also says 2012, 94 hours. And I'm thinking, uh-oh, if hasn't been changed since 94 hours, and that hasn't been changed since 94 hours, what about the engine oil? Well, it says the same thing. It says 94 hours on it. So, I'm doing a little investigation work on this thing, but with the amount of smoke and black soot and engine rattling and... oh boy, you cannot run engine oil for, what does that do the math here? That's about 600 hours on one set of oil in this engine and an oil filter. This engine oil should probably be changed every 100 to 200 hours max, 150-ish. I can look up the service specs on this guy and see what it says, but 600 hours on oil, and that is not a good sign here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this guy open, and I'm going to fire it up and see how bad it rattles and see what you guys think. I'm going to crawl in here. Let's see. Come on, camera. 677.9 hours. And I'm going to wait for the glow plug light to go out. Guys, don't do this to me. It breaks my heart every time I see this, but... Okay, so once again, those are things you don't want to see on a piece of equipment. So I will see you guys later. That's another day in Noah's life. Did 2 big tractor services, massive tractor services and part replacements this morning. Then went and checked out a big, huge Komatsu excavator that ripped a bunch of hoses off, broke a lot of fittings. Now I'm here looking at this guy before I head home, and here we are. It's like almost 7 o'clock, and I'm just now wrapping up to go home. This guy is beyond servicing. It's gonna be, I'm gonna have to pull the engine out of this guy and either rebuild it or replace it, put a used motor in it, put a crate motor in it. I've got some options, but ladies and gentlemen, I did this before on a tractor video and generator video. Actually, you cannot run 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 hours on one oil change. You'll destroy the motor. And this, I guarantee you, is going to be in the $2 to $5 grand range, probably in the $5 grand, and to do this engine replacement. But it's another day in my life. Thanks, guys. Come on, stop button.